Every year, there are millions of gallons of toxic chemicals placed into the ground that we walk on. These chemicals are in the form of embalming fluid. There are about 4.3 million gallons of embalming fluid placed into our earth every year during traditional burial services, according to funeralalliance.org. This is just in the United States alone, not to mention other countries that use traditional Western burial techniques as well. These archaic techniques are full of repercussions, including environmental impacts, unforgiving expenses, and disease-causing chemicals. A green burial is a much better alternative, and the components of a green burial are far more eco-friendly than a traditional burial. First, let's talk about what's wrong with a traditional burial. A traditional burial can cost upwards of $10,000. This is often an unexpected expense for families wanting to give their loved one a traditional burial. According to funeralwise.com, choosing a green burial can save a family anywhere between $4,000 and $7,000 on expenses like the purchase of a traditional casket and the cost of embalming fluid and procedure. Something else that's wrong with traditional burials is the obscene amount of wood that is used every year. According to funeralalliance.org, there are about 20 million feet of hardwood used to fashion caskets every year. This is enough hardwood to cover 347 football fields. This contributes to deforestation, it ruins animals' habitats, and it's overall harmful to the environment. And another downside to traditional burials is the use of toxic chemicals in the embalming process. Formaldehyde, a carcinogen, is a prominent chemical in embalming fluid. There are imminent downsides to using chemicals like this. The Green Burial Council states that embalmers are 3 times more likely to develop neurological disorders such as ALS from constant exposure to these chemicals. Now that we've discussed the many downsides to a traditional burial, let's talk about what a green burial consists of. There are 3 components to a green burial. The first component is that the body must not be embalmed once it is deceased. Instead of embalming, the body can be preserved via refrigeration until the family wishes to have the service, according to Sherry Wolf of Natural Grace Funerals. This means that your loved one does not need to be pumped full of chemicals post-mortem. The second component to a green burial is using a biodegradable casket or a shroud to bury your loved one. A biodegradable casket can consist of many materials, including cork, cotton, bamboo, and banana leaves. There are many more alternatives as well. A shroud is also a possibility in burying your loved one. A shroud is essentially a sheet or blanket of natural fibers that is also biodegradable. I have an example of a shroud here for you. This one has been placed in a basket to make lowering into the ground easier. The third component to a green burial is placing the body directly into the earth. This means exactly that. The green casket or shroud must be placed directly into the dirt, and there must be no concrete or steel put in the ground to aid in the lowering of the body. Other methods in this burial process include excessive amounts of steel and concrete, and this is also placing a burden on the environment. In conclusion, the desire for a green burial is growing across the United States as benefits come to light. The components of a green burial are far more eco-friendly than a traditional burial. They include not embalming a body once it is deceased, burying the body in a biodegradable casket or shroud, and placing the body directly into the earth. It is necessary that we all take pride in being informed about our environment and what is best for it. You can take part in a green burial right here in your backyard, pun intended, because Forest Home Cemetery offers a plot of almost 3 acres dedicated to green burials only, according to NPR.org. I urge you to be a part of the conversation and contribute to the future of this planet, even after death, by partaking in a green burial.